Good morning, grade 3. Welcome to today's social studies lesson. Today we're going to review concepts that we have learned in SST earlier last year. Some of the concepts that we're going to look are at our cardinal directions, maps, imaginary lines on a map, continents, oceans, and graphs. So let's get started with the first one. These are your cardinal directions. As you can see, north, south, west, and east. These are your four basic directions, and we usually use N, S, W, and E initials for these directions. And now that you're in grade 3, please make sure that you do know that this direction right here between north and west is called northwest. Direction this right here in between north and east is called northeast. Here between south and west, it's called southwest, and this direction right here between south and east is called southeast. Furthermore, let's look at map and symbols. This is the key. We know that a map key is what unlocks a map so you can read it. And these symbols or legends that you see right here are included in a map, and they give you information that is needed so that you can make sense of a map. So if you want to go from one direction to another, you do know that this probably is an airport, this is a gas station, and what direction you need to take to reach these places. So symbols in the key might be pictures, or they can be icons, and sometimes some maps use colors as a key as well. And next, I want you to label this world map in your head. So you can pause the video and you can identify the different continents, the 7 continents and the 5 oceans. And when you're done, let's see if you got them all right. So pause this video and identify the continents and the oceans in your brain. All right, I'm assuming that you're done, and let's look at the 7 continents and 5 oceans: North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, Antarctica. And then you've got your 5 oceans here: Pacific, Arctic, Atlantic, Southern Indian. Did I get all 5? Yes, I did. All right. So just make sure that you know these 5 oceans and the 7 continents. You should be able to name them, label them on a world map. Next, okay, these are maps, and we know that maps have boundaries, imaginary lines called borders. So let's look at Qatar's map just to see the borders and the bordering countries right next to Qatar. And right here, as you can see, I've drawn this red line around New Mexico. So that's your borders, or the neighboring countries or states. So these borders are basically imaginary lines, or sometimes they're real lines that could be due to a landform that borders a particular territory. It can be a political or a geographical, and these are called borders. So let's see. Now here, that's your border. And I have a question. What countries border Qatar? So you can see that these countries right here border Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and UAE. And then this right here, Bahrain, is a neighboring country. The borders are not attached, so that's a neighboring country, but the borders are attached to these two right here. Okay, next I want you to, again, in your head, I want you to trace the line of equator on this globe. Okay, where is the equator? That's right, this is your equator. All right, this is your equator. We know that equator divides the earth into 2 hemispheres, or 2 halves, northern and southern. So all of this here above the equator is your northern hemisphere, and everything down below is your southern hemisphere. Now, another type of line that imaginary line that you should know by now are the latitudes, and I like to look at it as the cafe latte latitude. So these are your latitudes right here, the blue lines. And then you've got longitudes right here. You can see this is a longitude right here. So you should know these imaginary lines. Last but not the least, let's look at some bar graphs. You can see these are some ways to represent data. There are 2 ways. You can see this is count and tally, and this one's right here, your bar graph sheet. Yeah, it's a pet survey. You should be able to know where is the title. That's your title of the of a bar graph. You should also know how to interpret data from a graph. Here is a count and tally chart. You can see that these are your tally marks. You should know them by now. very easy stuff. So 3 ducks, you draw 3 tallies. 5 cows, you draw 5 tallies right here. You'll draw that number. And right here, let's try and do the first question together. So this is my bar graph. As you can see, that's the title. That's where you find vote. And here, these labels are what type of animals are we looking at. So this bar graph is about children in salamander class, and they had a vote, and they had to vote for their best pets. So let's get started with the first one. Let's see if you can answer this together. Which pet got the most votes? So most means the most, the biggest number of votes. So you can see, obviously, this is pretty easy to see. This is rabbit got the most votes, and you can tally down here to this number, so 9 votes altogether. But because you're asking which pet, you're not going to put the number 9, because many of you've made that mistake earlier. You're going to write the name of the pet, unless they were asking you how many votes or how many votes. So here they're asking you for which pets. You're gonna write down rabbit. Alright, you guys, try doing these on your own, and let's see how you guys do. I know you guys will do a wonderful job. Please do not hesitate to leave a comment and discussion as to what you read and what you studied. And if you have any questions, you can always leave a comment, and we're here to help you. Good luck, grade 3.